Hi, this is Maggie Sullivan. This is my COMM 140 video response, and in this one I'm responding to Paul and Boba's video, which was a response to Brianna's video. In their videos, they discussed the changing ways that our minds are working with regard to the changing media. I think they both did a great job explaining the difference between deep attention, which is where you have a solid focus on one stimuli, and hyperattention, which is where you switch focus rapidly between different tasks. Then I wanted to take this concept and relate it back to Carr's article, Is Google Making Us Stupid? I felt like when I first read the article, I automatically began to think of the contradiction, since they're arguing that we're changing our primary communication to text and email as opposed to person-to-person contact. I would think that our reading would get better and that we'd be better at our comprehending skills, but then I realized that they weren't exactly talking about our reading skills per se, not so much about literacy, but they're talking more about how we read and how our attention span is limited to around 160 characters or so. I think even I've noticed in myself when I get a text that's two parts, I find myself skimming it, or when I send emails, I make sure I keep them brief and to the point, because I know whoever's getting it won't bother to read it if it's too wordy. In this article, Carr and the people he references mentioned how this style of reading is encouraging us to browse through articles and look for quick wins rather than synthesizing entire works. And again, I've noticed myself doing this, and I think it comes from how easy it is to find things on the internet and like the level of accessibility that we have, which is in contrast to before when we had to search through books or articles or archives, and it just took lots of dedication and time. And now we realize that if a source doesn't have exactly what we're looking for, then we'll probably automatically skip on to the next one. Just Control F, look for the word or phrase, and if it doesn't have it, then you skim on to the next one. And I think because we have such this high level of accessibility and this ease of finding things, that it makes us not accept anything other than exactly what we're looking for. And so we just skim and skim and skim until we find what we're looking for. And I think that most of us have the capability of sitting down and reading something if we need to. I think that we're just not settling for things that aren't exactly what we're looking for. I have a guest star too. It's Tessie. Sorry. So I think that the ease and the simplicity that Google provides us is, I think we're having higher standards for information, and it's not necessarily making us stupider that we don't have the attention span to focus on one thing for a long amount of time. I think we're just being able to have more accurate work. Especially when I'm studying for biology, I just search through all these articles, and if they don't have exactly what I'm looking for, I just search on to the next one. And I think that Google allows us, not Google only, but the internet just allows us to be more interconnected also. I can search articles that were written in Europe or Australia, and so I think in that sense that it's enhancing everything that we have. And talking about it in this respect, it kind of goes back to what we discussed in class today about how education hasn't quite kept up with the changing media, but I don't think that's entirely true either, because I think that the new generations are more competent in computers, and there's computer literacy classes and computer competency courses that you can take, and just kids these days know how to use computers so much better than any of my friends did when we were 7. And so I think that no, Google and the internet are not making us stupider, and even if we don't have the time or the patience to dedicate to reading one long, lengthy list, I don't think that's necessarily making us stupider. I think it's just enhancing the amount of information that we can process, and it's leading us to enhance our capabilities rather than hinder them.